The deployment of the vaccine was pretty quick compared to some of the early predictions, and shockingly, even in America, available broadly at very low or no cost. Treatment for COVID, not so much, but the vaccine has been. But will that actually last? Especially if this vaccine, if this virus becomes something that we as a nation or the world are dealing with for many years. If it branches off into a ton of different mutations, we might end up having to get booster shots for a very long time. And so there was this virtual Barclays Global Healthcare Conference where a couple of high-ranking employees at Pfizer were talking about some of the potential for earning more money in the future. Let's take a look.
If you look at how current demand and current pricing is being driven, it's clearly not being driven by what I'll call normal market conditions, normal market forces. It's really been driven by kind of the pandemic state that we've been in and the needs of governments to really secure doses from the various vaccine suppliers. So what I believe is we move from a pandemic state, from a pandemic situation to an endemic situation, normal market forces, normal market conditions will start to kick in. And factors like efficacy, booster ability, clinical utility will basically become very important. And we view that as, quite frankly, a significant opportunity for our vaccine from a demand perspective, from a pricing perspective, given the clinical profile of our vaccine.
Okay, so there's a lot to dive into, Francesca, but before we get to the substance of it, I don't know for sure. It's difficult to say from that image, and it is possible that some sort of virtual Zoom background. Was he in front of the beach in that? I don't know if we can put that up briefly. I think out of his window was sand and a deck chair and the ocean. Maybe it's virtual, I don't know. But if you're talking about how we need to find a way to exploit the global need for life-saving medicine to get more money, don't even make us think that you're at the beach, that you're gonna log off of this Zoom and then take a little swim with a manatee. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm just putting that out there as a potential.
And then you're gonna carve Trump into its back, huh? Oh, is that what manatee you're gonna? First of all,
anyway, what do you think?
He's on a floating tax haven, John. Peter Thiel set it up. It's fine. It's not actually a beach. It's just a floating. So I don't ever want to be on a Pfizer Zoom ever. Like that is TMI on like corruption. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I know we have to talk about it, but I like watch that and I'm like, yep, don't want to know. Do. Now that's not obviously a good response. The correct response is we need to rein in big pharma, but you can just see with the cavalier way that they talk about this, that absolutely they're looking to cash in. And this is, mind you, like. This is when, let's say, I think it's 10 countries have administered 75% of the vaccine in total, right? Countries like the United States and the UK are racing far, far above countries that have not seen a lick of this vaccine, who are begging the World Trade Organization to make companies like Pfizer drop the patents so that their production companies can start to produce them at a low cost. But that's not the way it goes. And so, this whole time I thought that like behind the scenes of working on the vaccine, they were just like, fairies, like the Keebler elves, and they were just sweet and little, they were just Pillsbury Doughboy, and they were just wanted us to live. And I feel like that's not true.
Well, I mean, of course we should make a distinction between the actual scientists who are working on it and the corporate executives that have as little connection to that as I do.
Yeah, the scientists are Keebler elves. Oh yeah, they're very adorable.
I mean, look at Fauci. That's all the evidence you need. But yeah, I like you're rightfully pointing out that there are many countries that have none, literally none. Some really hard hit, like, and it's not always for the same reason. Some of it's mismanagement. I mean, Brazil has done very little vaccination and they're losing more people in the last week than any other country. But some countries just can't get any. They can't buy it, and because of what you pointed out, they can't manufacture it. So like we have these plans that the US is contributing money to, COVAX, to eventually distribute some of it. And like Biden, to his credit, I guess, said, once we have excess supply, we'll start sending some overseas. But like people are dying now. They can't wait to die until later on when you decide that now it's acceptable. Like, they could start making it. That's a thing that could happen. We could send them the PDF and then they could manufacture the vaccine and potentially thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of lives could be saved.
Yeah.
How is this the way that it works? And I know it's naive, and obviously we let people die of all sorts of diseases that they don't need to die of. But like, this is supposed to be the thing that got us all like together for once. Like, malaria is complicated or whatever. But this one, we had commercials talking about what heroes we consider people to be. And it turns out, oh my God, some of that might not have been genuine. It might have just been companies trying to make money as they continue to.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.